this is going to be unprecedented na meron tayong isang sitting president and sitting vice president that will be impeached, no? And it does not really sit well, not only with the lawmakers but more importantly with the public, no? That we are so drowned in political noise and political turmoil na yung dalawa nating pinakamatataas na opisyal nahabla natin ng impeachment, and this is really not good. And siguro yung impeachment fatigue dito will really come of course from the sentiments of the public. And syempre dito sa lower house kung saan nagmumula at naguugat talagang impeachment, titignan natin kung ito ba talaga ay impeachment fatigue on their part or a lack of motivation, kasi last year they're very keen, di ba? Maalala natin talagang masigasig sila mag-file ng impeachment kahit nga hindi nila nabasa yung impeachment complaint, many of them signed. And maaari nga yung allegations na kapalit ito mga pangako ng dating speaker. Pero ngayon kasi kaya nga sabi ko, ibang-iba yung dynamics ng 20th Congress kasi wala na si Speaker Romualdez, no? So yung motivation, yung intent na pumirma maaaring wala na sa kanila at this point in time. Pero yun nga, yung sa taong bayan din kasi, the impression is that we're so drowned in political noise na talagang sobrang napapabayaan na yung governance. That's why the country right now is not only in a political mess but more so in an economic debacle at the moment.
Prof, unahin natin itong unang impeachment complaint na inihain laban po kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Gaano ho ba kaseryoso ito in a political sense, Prof? Itong complaint na ito laban sa isang nakaupong Pangulo at kahit ito'y galing pa sa isang pribadong individual?
Well, I believe parang this is similar to you remember the impeachment complaints that were filed during the height of the public clamor against former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo to step down nung NBNCT scandal, kung maalala natin yun. Diba? Almost every year may mga nagfa-file ng mga may hinang kaso, no? Para eventually, syempre magkakaroon ng one-year bar rule, no? And hindi na ifa-file yung mga masasabi natin mga substantial na mga kaso, no? Primarily. Kasi kung titingnan natin itong final na ito, medyo taliwas ito doon sa mga naunang napabalita na may mga grupo o may mga ilang individual na magfa-file ng isang substantial, a more substantial and a more comprehensive case against the president. And then ito nga hindi pa nagbubukas yung regular na session ng Kongreso, meron na nag-file ng isang impeachment complaint that I feel is very very weak both in form and substance. And if the purpose really or the intent is just to file an impeachment complaint that will not suffice, no? Or that will not be able to get passed through at least dito sa Justice Committee, mangyayari yung mga ibang gustong file ng mas matibay na impeachment maaring hindi na mapagbigyan, so again medyo I have serious apprehensions regarding the validity of this impeachment complaint.
Opo. So ibig sabihin hindi to possible na uusad diyan sa Kamara, considering din na halos siguro lahat ay kaalyado ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr., Prof.
Yes, actually, kasi ang magiging nila dito, ang magiging justification nila is that it is a weak impeachment complaint. And so they will not be parang subscribing to the idea of endorsing a very weak impeachment complaint, no? So hindi na nga siguro nila rito gagamitin yung political card kasi that's going to be very obvious, if they use that na magkaalyado sila, that they're going to protect the president at all costs. But I think what they're going to say here is that this impeachment is very weak in form and substance, so we cannot endorse it. it, or we cannot sign the petition for the impeachment of the president. And so if that's the case, no, so syempre lalabas nga na dahil nga wala tayong malakas or matibay na impeachment complaint, eh mag-aantay na naman tayo ng isang taon. Kasi kung titingnan natin, ano, sa dami-dami ng mga katiwalian na binabato dito sa administration na to, no, sa dinami-dami rin naman ng mga masasabi na nating ebidensya na nagsasabi, mga testigo na nagsasawalat na may kinalaman talaga ang Pangulo dito sa malawakang corruption na to. Not to mention yung allegations ng kanyang mismong kapatid that he is a cocaine addict. I think we should have come up with a more solid, justifiable, and substantial basis for filing a complaint against him. Pero ito nga, no, parang ilang pahina lamang itong impeachment complaint na to, which I believe is does not really stand a chance, no, by virtue of politically, yun na nga, dahil nga marami pang kaalyado ang Pangulo sa mababang kapulungan, and then legally, it does not really satisfy yung tinatawag nating sufficiency in form and substance that an impeachment complaint should have in the first place.
So madaling salita, Prof, pareho lang, walang mangingibabaw. Mangingibabaw ba ang legal grounds o political, yung politika?
Either way, hindi ko nakikita, no, that this will prosper. Kasi nga, kung mahina itong impeachment na to, mailalagay ang mga kongresista, no, kahit yung mga gusto sigurong sumuporta rito, in a very dangerous or precarious situation. Kasi bakit nila ini-endorso ang isang impeachment complaint na mahina, no? And then on the flip side, no, kung sakali man na naglagay ng isang mas malakas na impeachment complaint, maaring hindi rin naman ito usad kung sakasakali na magiging solido pa rin ang pagsuporta ng mga miyembro ng mababang kapulungan sa ating Pangulo. At dito natin makikita, no, yung sway, yung clout ni former Speaker Martin Romualdez sa Kongreso, at saka kung may impluwensya itong si Sandro Marcos, no, dito sa lower house, no, dito natin siya makikita supposedly. But I think what is important here is that we should have filed a more solid, a more comprehensive, and a more substantial impeachment complaint in the first place.
Pero dito sa mga grounds, Prof, na inihain nga, grounds for impeachment na naging dahilan kung bakit inihain ng isang pribado, individual, ang reklamo na yan laban sa Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Kasama po yung umano'y kidnapping o surrender nga kay FPRD sa ICC, at maging yung allegation sa, nabanggit mo na rin itong paggamit ng illegal na droga, yung issue rin po ng korupsyon, yung unprogrammed items sa 2023 to 2026 national budget, at yung kickbacks mula sa budget insertions at mga ghost flood control projects. Sa mga grounds na ito, alin ho bang mas mabigat?
Well, basically, no, kasi kung titignan natin dito, talagang culpable violation of the Constitution, ang parang magiging umbrella provision na gagamitin nila dito, kasama syempre yung betrayal of public trust. And of all this, all these allegations naman actually fall within the context or within the purview of these two provisions ng matatawag nating impeachable offenses. No, basically, yung culpable violation of the Constitution, yung pagpirma niya dito sa 2025 GAA could be attributed to that, no, especially kung lalabas na nga yung finality, yung ruling ng Supreme Court regarding the constitutionality of that. Yun talaga po pwede nating i-amplify yun, ano. Secondly, yung involvement niya dito sa corruption, ano, yung may mga testigo na nagtuturo sa kanya, allegedly being the mastermind and one of the people behind this orchestrated scandal involving the flood control fiasco, no. And then syempre yung kasing yung paggamit niya ng cocaine, kung ito man ay totoo, no, that will also be a betrayal of public trust technically, because hindi niya to isinisiwalat sa publiko, no. Actually, paulit-ulit nga tayo nag-ask ng hair follicle test, pero he doesn't want to submit himself to this. And so kumbaga parang we're being denied, no, the real scenario or the real situation of his health condition. And syempre, this definitely concerns us, because if we have a president, kung totoo man ang mga allegations that he is under the influence of illegal substance, then definitely he is not fit to govern or to rule the country. And so that will again tantamount to betrayal of public trust. Actually, kung titingnan natin itong namang complaint, no, meron naman talaga mga basihan. Ang akin lang, siguro mas maganda kung mas nakapag-present siya, no, ng mas komprehensibo at mas solido na justifications o kumbaga yung mga background mechanisms dito sa kanyang final na impeachment complaint, so that pagdating dito sa Kongreso, no, mas madaling kumbaga mas madaling i-justify at mas madaling kumbinsihin ang mga miyembro ng ating mababang kapulungan that this is really indeed an impeachment complaint that is worth pondering or worth looking into.
Opo, yung role po ng congressman na nag-endorso nga po nitong impeachment complaint, attorney. Ano ho ba yung attorney, Prof? Ano ho yung magiging implikasyon po na nakikita po ninyo sa itong congressman na ito? Ay di umano'y kabilang po daw sa contractor, sinasabi po nila,
Yeah.
na bumoto rin po sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte noong 2025.
Well, yun nga, titignan natin dito kasi, no, yun nga, medyo mahirap balangkasin at i-assess kung ano ba talaga yung motibo, no. Kasi kung titignan natin, ano, kung final niya tong impeachment na to bilang paghihiganti, no, sa administrasyon dahil siya ay nadadawit dito, okay, alam niya dapat na kung ang Pangulo ay madiliin dito, mas lalong madadrag yung mga pangalan nila, no? Basically. So, on the flip side, maaring gusto lang talaga niya na idama yung Pangulo kasi nga nadawit na rin yung kanyang pangalan. So, may mga personal motivations basically na titignan tayo rito, no? Pero ang sigurong mas mahalaga na tignan natin dito is kung ano ba talaga, no? Kasi nga pumirma siya last year do sa impeachment complaint against VP Sara. Pero we need to understand that during that time kasi merong talagang immense influence na undeniable immense influence yung speaker, no, doon sa pagpirma. At maaring in the span of 1 year maraming nagbago sa dynamics lalong-lalo na sa lower house, ano, particularly itong alliances, itong power brokerage na nangyari before, yung nagbago tayo ng speaker, medyo nag-mellow down din itong political noise sa lower house, among other things, no. So we don't know exactly, no, if he still maintains yung kanyang anti-Duterte stance or he really is doing this para talaga panagutin yung Pangulo. Pero may hirap kasing yun nga, no, kapag ginawa niya yun, maaaring madawit din naman yung kanilang pangalan kasi nga nai-implicate sila rito sa usapin ng corruption sa flood control.
Opo, doon naman po sa abogado, itong private citizen na si Attorney Andre De Jesus, Prof. Binanggit po ni Congressman Edgar Erice na dati umanong abogado ni First Lady Lisa Marcos ang nagreklamo. Paano po ito sa tingin po ninyo nakakaapekto sa kredibilidad po ng impeachment complaint?
Well, definitely, no, kung meron talaga siyang professional relationship with the First Lady, malaking dagok ito dito sa integrity tsaka sa credibility ng mismong impeachment complaint, no, especially if there are still if the relationship is still active at the moment, no. Pero even if, no, kung sila ay dating naging nagkaroon sila ng professional relationship bilang legal counsel and client, masasabi natin, ano, na meron silang pinagsamahan and medyo mahirap na paniwalaan that you're just going to turn your backs against your former boss just like that, no. So siguro yun nga, maaring masabi natin dito, no, kung maalala natin din naman yung kay Gloria Macapagal Arroyo ng mga panahon na yun, ano, yung nagfa-file ng impeachment laban sa kanya lagi, was also a lawyer, and it turned out na itong mga ganitong usapin, ano, talaga namang makikita natin na nasa playbook na rin. And yun nga, siguro mas maganda kung gumamit sila, kung totoo man, ano, na ito ay isang ploy lamang, dapat gumamit sila ng isang tao na talagang totally detached or wala talagang connection doon sa pamilya.
So sa politika, Prof, mahalagang tingnan din ng publiko kung sino yung nagsampa, yung kanyang
Tama po yan.
kasaysayan o history ba, at hindi lamang yung mismong reklamo doon sa impeachment nga laban sa isang impeachable officer.
Exactly. Yeah, very very important po 'yun dahil unang-una yun nga yung karakter, no, yung personalidad. Ano ba yung motivation niya? Ano ba yung nagtutulak sa kanya? Bakit niya 'to ginawa, no? Those are very vital, and if we could, somewhat prove that there is really no direct linkage between him and the person that he is trying to impeach, whether on a professional or personal level, then I think masasabi natin that it could be a valid a valid justification or motivation bakit niya to ginawa, na talagang gusto lamang niyang i-exercise yung kanyang karapatan, because the truth is kahit na sino naman pwede mag-file ng impeachment complaint for as long as you're a registered voter, 18 years of age, o pwede ka mag-file ng impeachment. Kinakailangan lang talaga may mag-i-endorse dito sa lower house, no, sa Justice Committee. And that being said, no, kahit sino po pwede mag-file ng impeachment. Yun nga lang, kinakailangan talaga masiguro natin that there are no strings attached and that there are no motives, no, yung mga tinatawag natin na dirty political ploys, no, na ginagamit para masiguro natin na talagang itong impeachment hindi ginagamit as a political weapon or as a political defense, kundi talagang manifestation ng ating democratic rights as a people.
Bago ko lang ipasa kay Partner Admar, Prof, matapos nga yung sunod-sunod na mga impeachment issues mula kay Vice President Sara Duterte at ngayon, may tinatawag po bang impeachment fatigue, Prof, sa Kongreso at maging sa publiko?
Yeah, definitely. Syempre lalo na kung mangyayari nga ito, no. This is going to be unprecedented na meron tayong isang sitting president and sitting vice president that will be impeached, no. And it does not really sit well not only with the lawmakers but more importantly with the public, no, that we are so drowned in political noise and political turmoil na yung dalawa nating pinakamatataas na opisyal nahabla natin ng impeachment, and this is really not good. And siguro yung impeachment fatigue dito will really come of course from the sentiments of the public. And syempre dito sa lower house kung saan nagmumula at nag-uugat talagang impeachment, titignan natin kung ito ba talaga ay impeachment fatigue on their part or a lack of motivation, kasi last year they're very keen, di ba? Maalala natin talagang masigasig sila mag-file ng impeachment kahit nga hindi nila nabasa yung impeachment complaint, many of them signed. And maaari nga yung allegations na kapalit ito mga pangako ng dating speaker. Pero ngayon kasi kaya nga sabi ko, ibang-iba yung dynamics ng 20th Congress kasi wala na si Speaker Romualdez, no? So yung motivation, yung intent na pumirma maaaring wala na sa kanila at this point in time. Pero yun nga, yung sa taong bayan din kasi, the impression is that we're so drowned in political noise na talagang sobrang napapabayaan na yung governance. That's why the country right now is not only in a political mess but more so in an economic debacle at the moment.